Right, hi, quick amuse-bouche today. Something interesting that I bought about a year ago. I think just over a year ago now. I am not into ready to fly RTF, as I said to you before, but this was just I have some friends who go to fly indoor. It's a gymnasium close to Bergerac. Takes a while to get there, 40 minutes in the car to get there. It doesn't start, the flying doesn't start until after the basketball's finished, which is 9 o'clock at night, and it goes on till midnight. So sometimes I don't feel lively enough, I suppose, really, to travel all that way and then fly a bit. But at the time, I thought, why not? I bought that, which is a mini Vapor Park Zone, ready to fly, mode 1, 49 euros 99 centimes. It's probably about, well, I don't know, 40, at that time I think probably about 43, 44 pound. God knows what it is in American money. But it was on offer, so I bought it. Real price, 98.50. So yeah, I thought I got a bargain. And it comes complete with everything, alright? So, what we got in the box? All this, keep the box because it's pretty good for packing it all up in, isn't it? One little model aeroplane, look at that. Look at the size of that motor on the front. Unbelievable, isn't it? Alright. You got that, huh?
Yep.
There's the battery. Alright, there's the battery. I ain't got my seeing eye glasses on, so I can't read it out, but it's bloody small.
So 30 milliamp.
30 milliamp, one cell. I know that. I know it's one cell. So you get everything with this. You get the controller, 2.4 gigahertz Park Zone controller. You get the charger in the box for the little lipos. We've got some batteries for the TX, sorry, for the controller, and the 3-channel. I'll just switch it on. That's biffed. I'll just connect up the battery. You just get one battery with it. I bought another one afterwards. Little doofer. A little bit of Velcro. And there you go. Back end. All proportional control. It is absolutely fascinating little piece of kit, but you can fly it only indoors or outdoors if there isn't any wind. The covering material is like, I don't know, it's film, some kind of film, and it seems to be glued onto metal. I think it's metal or carbon. Some bits of metal, I think, metal around the outside. I mean, carbon, I don't know. Brilliant. Lovely. Got some pull. Worth every centime, that. Have some good fun with that. Okay, that's it for today. Up into the playroom. Alright? Yeah. Okay. Right, welcome back to the big upstairs. Well, it's a small upstairs, isn't it, actually? What are you doing? Don't move it around so quickly, people will get bloody dizzy. Like my mother when she took films. God, I felt seasick when I watched them. Anyway, yeah, just let me wet me whistle. What we're going to do is just go through some of the hardware stuff which we're going to use for the puddleduck. We'll start off with the wheels. Wheels, there we go. They're big, aren't they? Big wheels. 3.5 inches, 89mm diameter, which is what he says on the drawing. Problem is with those, the hole in the middle, 4mm. Now the undercarriage doesn't really have to be 4mm. So what I'm going to do is, I bought the 3mm piano wire. I'm going to bend it up, and then I bought some tube, some brass tube, 3mm inside, 4mm outside. So I'll cut that off, obviously, and the bit that comes out I'll solder onto the 3mm wire, and that will go through the centre of the wheel, and that'll hold it nice and steady then, okay, instead of it wibbling about. And then we've got a couple of collets to might actually solder a washer on one side just to stop it, and then a collet on the outside. As we got the soldering iron out to do that, we might do that. So that's how we got around that. 4mm would have been a bit heavy, I think, for the undercarriage on that. And the bits that are going to hold on the undercarriage are these little plasticky bits. So that will go, the wire will go through there, and they'll be screwed to the underside of the fuselage on the ply plates that we've already made, and we've already glued those in. Hopefully they're called, if you were English, they're called cavalier on nylon. So they're nylon things. So we got some 3s, and for some reason or other I bought some 4s because I didn't know whether I'd be able to get some tube, but I did. So anyway, they'll come in handy for something else. What we've got is the call them SHAP quick links for the control surfaces. These have an M2 screw thread in the back of them, into which we will screw the M2 closed loop connector, which is a threaded brass bar, the end of which has a hole in it through which the control wire fits, double back on itself and clamped. I think I've shown you these before, but that's the control. It's a kit. This is a Hobby King kit, because Hobby King, I don't know, something about Hobby King. But they're the only people who had these kits at a reasonable price. I mean, I think this was less than £2. That gives me 2 1-metre sections of cable. It gives me 4 of these connectors. It gives me 4 of the little aluminium tubes which pinch and stop the wire from coming free, and it gives me 4 of these heat shrink tubes to cut up and put over the joint, all for less than £2. Unbelievable. Plus they were the only people who actually had the bits in stock. So right, let's so that's some of the hardware that we're going to use. I mean, that's all fairly standard stuff, isn't it, really? Hinges we've gone through, etc, etc, etc. Right, what we have got is the motor, which Harry can zoom in on. Yeah. Can you get that, Harry?
Just trying to get it in focus. Yeah, okay.
Okay, right. That's an AirTech, 1000 kV. Let me just read the. It's a 2836,000. Okay, and I bought that from the UK, AirTech Hobbies. I've got that one from. And the I don't know what this is.
That one's got the whole thing that turns, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a brushless motor. Brushless motor. Oh, we don't want those. Let me just see if I can grab you something. Oh, here we go. Speed controller. Speed controller. High performance, apparently. High performance brushless ESC. Is that one, Beals. Made in China. So that's the bit that gives me the 5 or whatever it is volts for the receiver. That all these go somewhere, I'm sure. This is the first. Oh, there's a picture of it. There's a picture of it. Okay, so is the ESC. Yeah, 3 of them. That's these 3. They go to the motor. So those 3 go to the motor. These 2 go to the battery. So they've got to have connectors soldered onto them, which I have bought. So we'll do a bit of soldering. We'll solder those on. And then this here goes to the receiver. Now the receiver, oh, these are the connectors. Lots of connectors. I've got some don't know whether they're male and female, I don't know. Can't remember. Oh, made in China. Let's change that. We've got a box of goodies, haven't we? Boxes of goodies. We've got these cheap, oh, made in China, servos, which we're using in this one, Hextronic. I think I explained to you before. They seem to be alright. I mean, the control surfaces aren't huge in this, so we're not talking mighty loads. Make sure everything wobbles about fairly easily, so we won't strip any gears in those. I think they're digital, but they're not. They're plastic gears. Not the best, but cheap. What we need to look for which I'm just about to. Oh yeah, we got one of these we bought the other day. Still in its plastic bag. Oh, made in China. Still in its plastic bag, and that is a servo tester. So once I work out how to use that, and I've got everything soldered up for the battery, then we'll shove a couple of volts through that and test the servos before we put them in the plane. I've seen that done before on the YouTubey thing. So you just test that they're okay. All right. So what we actually do have also, if I can find them, propellers. A couple of stonkers there. 11 5.5s these are. I'm just trying to find out who they're made by. APCs, okay. Nice props. So we've got the large control horns. I don't know whether we'll use the large or the small control horns on this one. We'll see what it looks like. We've got solder connectors, gold, for the AirTech hobbies again. That's for the motor for the C here. Okay. And the other things which I bought quite a few of the other day are the little... Can you see those there, Harry?
Yep.
Okay. That's a 6-channel receiver. High-tech red. It's not a high-tech, it's an iconic. Now these people, these iconic people, I've seen just recently that both AirTech Hobbies and the Sussex Model Centre are selling those for about 10 squids. So 10 quid for a 6-channel receiver. I mean, you can't fault that. The only problem is with owning a high-tech transmitter and system, basically, is that they don't do particularly cheap receivers. And there's not many other people who make receivers. Well, there's nobody else who makes receivers for high-tech transmitters, apart from these iconic people. And they have a transmitter as well. Iconic 6 transmitters, which are very cheap, very cheap. And I've used mostly iconic receivers in my aeroplanes. No problem. I only need 3 channels. Up, left, right, start and stop. That's about it. So buying the first one I bought was a 9-channel. It came with the transmitter. And they cost an absolute fortune. I mean, what you'd find to do with 9 channels, I really don't know. Right, so we bought those. I bought 3 of those from AirTech, and then I saw them. I had something else to order as well from Sussex Models, I think. I bought another 2, so I've got 5 of those hanging about. I mean, 50 quid. If I was to buy 5 high-techs, you're probably talking 250 quid, I think, which is a bit expensive. Batteries I've already bought for this particular model. This is another Hobby King thingy. I'll try them. I mean, they're cheap. It depends if they're any good. It's 11.1 volts, 2,200 milliamp hour. Tornigi, which is, I think, Hobby King's own make, isn't it? So I've charged them up ready to have a twiddle with, see what they go like. I've already made the battery holder, which I showed you last time on the airplane. Oh, can you see my razor cane? Yeah, my a bit like a strimmer really. So it's yeah, feel a lot better now. Which come the spring, isn't it? So let the air around the fizzle. Right. So next jobs. What's the next jobs? Finish off covering the wing, top section of the wing. Fitting the servos we need before we start covering the fuselage. Okay, if you can just come down onto the fuselage bit, Harry. Before we start covering that, it's easier to get inside. It's easier to fit the servos and everything into it before we cover it. The covering will be the last thing we do on that. I've got to make the front, the nose as well, the combing for the front. Got to do that bit, and then I think it's I'll be more or less finished then, won't it? Got some big elastic bands. I'm not going to show you those because I think you know what an elastic band looks like. We'll pick and choose which of the push-pulls we use on this because we've got different thickness wires for those. But apart from that, it should be all straightforward as long as I find time to do it. And at the moment, time is of an essence because it's probably already said here, springtime, and the garden's growing, and the seeds are growing, and the greenhouse plants, and the tomatoes, and the grass, and the lawnmower's broken, and isn't it, Harry? And trying to get the starter motor off the camper van, which weighs a couple of tons. That's just a starter motor, and it's not proven as easy as I thought it would be. Need a bigger hammer, and anyway, it's beginning to warm up a bit. I'll tell you when the other YouTube channel comes online. The one about what's the next one we're going to do?
Cycling.
Oh, cycling, yeah. Madman in France on a push bucket, something like that. And his son. So that should be, if you're interested in cycling at all, should be interesting. She has nice photos on it. Should have some nice photos. So we'll tell you when that comes online, and if anybody watches this one, which they're not at the moment, they can watch the other one, which hopefully they might. Right. Anyway, that's it. I'll say bye bye until the next time. Bye bye.